Hello everyone, welcome to Dynamic Studies. So, in crash course of management, today is day 6 and we will discuss unit 6. In unit 6, the topics under syllabus are strategic management, concept of strategic management, process of strategic management, decision and types, strategic analysis, external analysis, past analysis, Porter's approach to industry analysis, internal analysis, resource based approach, value chain analysis, strategic formulation, SWOT analysis, corporate strategy, growth, stability, retrenchment, integration and diversification, business portfolio analysis, GE business model, and soft product market growth metrics, strategic implementation, challenges of change, development program, McKinsey 7S framework, marketing concept orientation, trends and tasks, consumer value and satisfaction, market segmentation, positioning and targeting, product and pricing decision, product mix, product life cycle, new product development, pricing, its type and strategies, place and promotion decision, marketing channels, value networks, VMS, IMC, advertising and sales promotion. Now let's get started with the strategic management concept. So, what is strategic management? What is a strategy? Strategy is the determination of long-term goals and objectives of an enterprise and the adoption of courses of action and allocation of resources necessary for carrying out these goals. Okay, so strategy is management's game plan for strengthening the organization position, pleasing customers and achieving performance target. Okay, so basically strategic management involves setting objective, analyzing the competitive environment, analyzing the internal organization, evaluating strategies and ensuring that management rolls out the strategies across the organization. Now, Michelle Porter identified three principles underlying strategy, that is creating a unique and valuable market position, then making trade-off by choosing what not to do, then creating fit by aligning company activities with one another to support the chosen strategy. Now, the type of strategic management. Okay, so the type of strategic management are corporate level, business level and functional or department level. Let's discuss each of them one by one. Corporate level strategy. These are fundamentally concerned with selection of businesses in which the company should compete and with the development and coordination of that portfolio of businesses. They are basically concerned with reach. Reach means defining the issue that are corporate responsibilities. These might include identifying the overall goals of corporation. Now, business unit level strategies. Now business level strategies. Business level strategy unit may be division, product line or other profile center that can be planned identically the type of division product line. Okay. At a business unit level, the strategic issues are less about coordination of operating units but more about developing and sustaining a competitive advantage for the goods and services that are produced. Now, functional level strategy or development level strategy. The functional level of organization is the level of operating division and department. The strategy issues at functional level are related to business processes, value chain. Now let us discuss what is a strategic management model or strategic planning process. So this is the strategic planning process, that is strategic intent, then environmental scanning, strategic formulation, strategic implementation and evaluation and control. Let us discuss each term one by one. Strategic intent. What is the meaning of strategic intent? Strategic intent takes the form of number of corporate challenges and opportunity specified as short-term project. The strategic intent must convey a significant stretch for the company. Okay, the strategic intent is nothing but the influencing of organization resource, potential and core competency to achieve what at first may seem to be unachievable goal in the competitive environment. Now, environmental scanning. Environmental scanning includes the process of analyzing the firm internal environment and analyzing the firm's industry, that is micro or task environment, then analysis of external macro environment. So analysis of external macro analysis can be done through past analysis. The internal analysis can be identify the firm's strength, weakness, and the external analysis reveal opportunity and threat. The profile of strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat is generated by means of SWOT analysis. Now, strategy formulation. Strategy formulation is development of long-range plans for effective management of environmental opportunity and threats. So, there are terms in this strategic formulation. First one is mission. These terms has been asked in exam previously. Mission is the purpose or reason for organization existence. It tells what the company is providing to society, either a service like housekeeping or a product like automobile. Okay. Then another term is objective. Objective are the end result of planned activity. These definition has been asked in exam, that dash are the end result of planned activity. So the answer would be objective. Now, strategy. Strategy is a complex plan for bringing the organization from a given posture to a desired position in future period of time. Then policies. A policy is a broad guideline for decision making that link the formulation of strategy with its implementation. Now let us discuss what is strategy implementation. Strategy implementation is a process by which strategy and policies are put into action through the development of programs, budget, and procedure. This process might involve changes within the overall culture, structure, management system of entire organization. Okay. Now, evaluation and control. After implementing the strategy, the last step is evaluation and control. After the strategy is implemented, it is the vital to continually measure and evaluate progress so that changes can be made, if needed, to keep the overall plan on track. This is known as control. This is known as control phase of a strategic planning process. This could be done by defining the parameter to be measured, by defining the target value for those parameter, by performing measurement, or by compare measured result to predefined standard, by make necessary changes. So this is the process of strategic management. Now we will discuss three main topics, that is vision, mission, and purpose. These three terms has been asked in exam. So what is vision? Please just learn the definition. Okay, what I am going to tell you, just learn it. Vision statement provide direction and inspiration for organization goal setting. Okay, vision is where you see yourself at the end of the horizon. Please learn this definition. Vision is where you see yourself at the end of the horizon. Okay. Now, mission statement. Mission of an organization is the purpose for which organization is. Mission is again a single statement and carry the statement in verb. Now let us discuss what is past analysis. In past analysis is external analysis. Okay. In past analysis, we analyze the political factor, economic factor, social factor, technological factors which are affecting the working of organization. So, the political factors include government regulation and legal issues and define both formal and informal rules under which the firm must operate. So, the basic political factors are tax policies, employment laws, environmental regulation, trade restriction, tariff, political stability. So, these are the basic political factors which affect the working of the organization. Now, economic factors. Economic factors affect the purchasing power of potential customer and the firm's cost of capital. The basic economic factors are economic growth, interest rate, exchange rate, inflation rate. Now, social factors. Social factors include demographic and cultural aspect of external macro environment. These factors affect customer needs and size of potential market like health consciousness, population growth rate, age distribution, career attitude, emphasis on safety. Now, the last one is technological factor. Technological factor can lower barriers to entry, reduce minimum efficiency, production level, and influence outsourcing decision. These are research and development activities, automation, technology incentives, rate of technological changes. Now, Porter's five forces. So, Porter have given the model of five forces. There are, according to him, there are basically five forces that affect the working of any organization. Okay. So the model of five competitive forces is based on the insight that the corporate strategy should meet the opportunity and threats in organization external environment. Okay, especially competitive strategy should based on an understanding of industrial structure and the way they changes. So the five forces are the threat of entry of new competitor, the intensity of competitive rivalry, the threat of substitute product and service, bargaining power of customer and bargaining power of supplier. Please learn them by heart. These are very important concepts. Questions has been asked previously from this topic. I have shown this in this diagram also. Now let us discuss each topic one by one. So, bargaining power of supplier. What is bargaining power of supplier? Supply comprise all sources for input that are needed in order to provide goods and services. Supply bargaining power is like high when the market is dominating by few large suppliers rather than a fragmented source of supply. There are no substitute for the particular input. When the supply customers are fragmented, so their bargaining power is low. The switching costs from one supplier to another are high. So what are the threats? Threats are the buying industry has higher profitability than supplying industry. And another one is forward integration provide economy of scale for supplier. And the next, buying industry hinders the supplying industry in their development. Now what is bargaining power of customer? So the bargaining power of customer, they buy large volume, there is a concentration of buyer. The supplying industry comprise a large number of small operators. The supplying industry operate with high fixed cost. The product is undifferentiated and can be replaced by substitute. The product is not strategical important for customer. Now what is threat of new entry? The competition in the industry will be higher the easier it is for other companies to enter with industry. In such situation, new entrants could change major determinant of market environment like market share, price, customer loyalty at any time. Now let us discuss threat of substitute. So, threat of substitute can be due to brand loyalty of customer, close customer relationship, switching cost of customer, the relative price for performance of substitute and current trend. Now, competitive rivalry between existing players. There are many players of about the same size. Players have similar strategy. There is not much differentiation between players and their product. Hence, there is much price competition, low market growth rate, and barrier for existing are high. Now, there is another term, that is strategic groups. What are strategic groups? Strategic groups are the set of firms within an industry that share the same or highly similar competitive attributes. Okay, so strategic group maps are useful way to analyze a strategic group in the creation of a strategic group map. A strategic group map presents the various competitive positions that similar firms occupy within an industry. Strategic group maps are not difficult to create. However, there are few simple guidelines managers want to use when developing them. First one is identifying competitive attribute, then creating map based upon two key attribute variables. Then identify strategic group. So now another topic, that is competitive change during industrial evolution. Industry life cycle comprise four stages, include fragmentation, growth, maturity and decline. Okay, an understanding of industry life cycle can be help competing companies surviving during period of transition. Now let us discuss what is resource based view. So resource based view is an internal analysis process, or this strategy is used for achieving competitive advantage that emerges during 90s. Okay, so the core idea of this theory is that instead of looking at competitive business environment to get a niche in market and edge over competition and threat, the organization should instead look within at resource and potential it already has available. Okay, according to RVB, it is significantly easier to explore new opportunity and using resource competency that are already available rather than having to acquire new skills. So there are two type of resources in industry. These are tangible assets and intangible assets. Tangible assets are physical things, intangible are that can't be touched. Okay, now assumptions of RBV is there are two significant critical assumptions, that is heterogeneous and immobility. This first major assumption is that resources, skills and capability must vary significantly from one organization to another. If these organizations had the exact same set of resources and individuals, they would not be able to employ varying variety of strategy in order to compete with one another. Okay, now immobile. What is immobile? The second assumption of RBV is that resources are immobile and thus unable to move freely from organization to organization. Okay, now what is VRIO framework? So this framework, although possession of heterogeneous and immobile resources is crucial to organization success, it is not alone. If they wish to sustain this competitive advantage, Burney in 1991 identified a framework for examining the key property of resources and organization. These are valuable, rare, immutability, and organized to capture. So, valuable resources are valuable if they can help to increase the value of services and products supply customer or other reliance of the organization. This can be improved by increasing differentiation, decreasing the cost of production. Now rare, any resource, both tangible and intangible, which can only be acquired by one or very few organizations, may be considered rare. Now low immutability, if organization hold resources which are valuable or rare, they can at least achieve a competitive advantage in short run. However, to sustain this advantage, the resource need to be costly and imitate or substitute, or else rivalry may begin to close the gap by obtaining the same similar resource. Now organized to capture value. So resources do not necessarily convey a competitive advantage. If organization, its system and its processes are not distinguished to explore the resource to its fullness. Okay. So the only when all these factors are fulfilled can one gain a sustained competitive advantage and can innovate and get ahead in market. The process for maximizing an advantage using RBV should follow: identify the organization potential key resources and then evaluate whether the resource fulfill VRIO criteria using flowchart. Okay, and then develop and nurture the resource that passes these criteria. So this is all about RBV theory. Now let us discuss what is value chain analysis. So the value chain analysis is also the internal analysis method. Okay, in this activities are being categorized or labeled on the basis of value. Okay, how do they change business input into business output in such a way that they have greater value than original cost of creating those output? Okay, so manufacturing company create value by acquiring raw material and using them to produce something useful. The value that created and captured by company is the profit margin. That is, value created and captured minus cost of creating that value is equal to margin. Okay, the more value an organization creates, the more profitable it is likely to be. And when you provide more value to your customer, you build competitive advantage. Understanding how your company create value and looking for way to add more value are critical element in developing a competitive strategy. Now, what are the elements of value chain analysis? So, primary activities related directly to physical creation, sales, maintenance, support, or a product or service, they consist of following: inbound logistic, operations; outbound logistic, marketing and sales, services. Now, what is inbound logistics? These are all the process related to receiving, storing and distributing input internally, and your supplier relation are key factor in creating value here. Then operations. These are the transformation activities that change input into output that are sold to customer. Now outbound logistics. These are the activity deliver your product or service to your customer. Now marketing and sales. These are the process you use to pursue client to purchase from instead of your competitors. Now service. These are the activities related to maintain the value of your product or service to your customer. Now supporting activities. Supporting activities are the activities that support primary function. These are procurement or purchasing or human resource management or technological development or infrastructure. Okay, now what is use of this model? This identifies sub activity for each primary activity, and this also identifies sub activity for each supporting activity. This identifies links, and this looks for opportunity to increase value. This is all about value chain analysis. Now let us discuss what is SWOT analysis. So SWOT analysis is analysis of strength, weakness, opportunity and threat. Okay, so this is mix up of internal and external analysis. Strength and weakness measures internal analysis are the internal analysis, and opportunity and threat are external analysis. Okay, so strength, the low label. So what are the strength of the companies? Okay, now if a firm is making the product, so if they are charging low labor cost, so this is a strength. They can hire more labor. Okay, and if the organization is well organized or national brand name, so this is also the strength. Okay, now what are weaknesses? Lack of expertise in renewable energy. Okay, so these type of things could be the weaknesses of the organization. Now opportunities are present in external environment. Okay, now opportunity of developing a new product. Okay, opportunity of innovating your existing product. These are the opportunities. Now threat are the threat from rivalry. Okay, these are the threats that will affect or lower the productivity. Okay, these are all the threats. So this is all about the internal and external strategies of a company. Now let us discuss what are corporate strategies. So corporate strategies are strategies which are adopted by corporate organizations. So there are various strategy. Corporate strategy. First one is growth strategy. So growth is an essential for any organization. An organization go through an invisible progression from growth to maturity, revival, eventually decline. Okay. So at the core of corporate strategy must be a clear logic of how the corporate objective will be achieved. Most of the strategy choices of successful corporation have a central economic logic that serves as a fulcrum for profit creation. Some of the major economic reasons for choosing a particular type of corporate strategy are exploring the operation economic and financial economic scope. Okay, and there are some non-economic reasons for choosing a corporate strategy like dominant view of top management, employee incentive to diversify, desire for more power, management control, or ethical consideration. So basically there are four type of corporate strategy: stability, growth, retrenchment, combine. Okay, so stability strategy is a strategy in which organization retain its present strategy at a corporate level and continue focusing on its present product and market. Okay, in growth, the firm choose expansion strategy when their perception of resource available and past financial performance are both high. So growth strategy is also known as expansion strategy. Now retrenchment. Many firms experiment deterioration of financial performance resulting from market erosion and wrong decision by management. So they follow the retrenchment strategy. Now combine strategy. There is also a combine strategy which is mixture of all three strategy. Okay. Now integration strategy. Uh, the company follows integration strategy when they feel like uh, they are one segment of a company is having are in losses and another one is in profits. Okay, if they feel like if by combining both of them the result would be profitable, so they will do the integration. Diversification is when the one segment of businesses is diversifying into other segment. Now what are business portfolio analysis? So there are various business portfolio analysis. First one is BCG matrix. Okay, so in this is BCG matrix. This diagram of BCG matrix, this diagram is very important. Yeah, please. One thing has been left in this. Yeah, in corporate strategy, in growth, they follow two type of strategy like concentration and diversification. Okay, so concentration they are horizontal growth or vertical growth. In vertical, forward integration or backward integration. Diversification, concentration or conglomerate. Now stability. Stability is pause or proceed with caution. A second one is no change and third one is profit. Now retrenchment, turnaround, captive company, sale out or disinvestment, or bankruptcy and liquidation. Okay, so this is all about this topic. Now we will discuss BCG matrix. Yeah, in BCG matrix, uh, BCG, yeah, first of all, note down BCG matrix was developed by Boston Consulting Group in 1970s. Okay, this is also known as growth share matrix. So BCG matrix is most popular and most simplest matrix to describe the corporation portfolio businesses. Okay, the first, so in this the first thing is relative market share and market growth rate. On vertical axis they have shown market growth rate, and on horizontal axis they have shown relative market share. So relative market share is the ratio of market share of concerning product or business unit in industry dividing by share of market leader. And in market growth rate is the percentage of market growth by which sales of particular product or business unit has increased. The business strategy is measured by considering such factors as relative market share, profit margin, ability to compete. Okay, so yeah, the one thing that is you need to note down is when market rate is high and when relative market share is low, then the position is stars. Okay, and when market share is low and relative market share are high, then question mark. And when market growth rate is low and relative market share is also low, then there is dog. And when market growth rate are low and relative market share is high, then there is crash cow. So the dog condition is not good for organization, and cash cow condition is very fruitful for organization. Question mark condition is uncertain for an organization. Star condition is also good for an organization. Okay, now there is another matrix, that is GE McKinsey matrix. Okay, GE McKinsey matrix have 9 cells, and the business unit is rate test against business strength and industrial attractiveness. The matrix used multiple measurements to assess business strength and industrial attractiveness. The matrix used 3 types of classification: high, medium, and low, and strong, average, weak. Overcomes many limitations of BCG matrix and it improves it. Okay. So this is all about BCG matrix and GE McKinsey matrix. Now Ansoff matrix. So yeah, in this they have divided. In this at horizontal axis they have increasing risk. Okay, and at the vertical they have also increasing risk. Okay, and they have divided. Ansoff have divided it into 4 categories: that market penetration, product development, diversification, market development. Okay, so market penetration is done by existing market. Okay, market development is done by existing or new market, and product development is done by new product or existing market, and this investment is done by new product and new market. Okay, so let us discuss McKinsey 7S model. This is very important. McKinsey have divided McKinsey have given this 7S model. Okay, in this model he has grouped these 7 S's: structure, strategy, system, style, staff, skills with share value. Okay, so yeah, he has said that structure, system, and strategy are hard concept. Okay, and the rest are soft one. The critical variable would be different across organization and same organization in different point of time. Okay, so structure is silent feature of unit, organization chart, and interconnection within the organization. Now system are procedure and routine processes. Staff or personnel. Style is characteristic of how key manager behave in order to achieve the unit goal. Shared value, the significant meaning or guiding concept, skills, system capability of any person. So this is all about the strategic management in unit 6. Now we move to the next topic in this unit, that is marketing. Marketing is everywhere and it affects our day-to-day life. Okay, so marketing management is the art and science of choosing target market and getting, keeping, growing customer to creating, delivering and communicating superior customer value. Okay, so now let us discuss various orientation. Product orientation definition. This emphasizes on the product. Okay, they define marketing as the process of planning, executing the conception, pricing, promotion, distribution of idea, good services to create exchange that satisfy individual. Now customer orientation. They emphasize customer and their satisfaction. In the word of Philip Kotler, marketing is human activity directed at satisfying need and wants through exchange of process. Now value orientation. This is modern definition. Marketing is an organization function and a set of process for creating, communicating, delivering value to customer and for managing customer relationship in a ways that benefit organization and stakeholders. Okay. Now market segmentation. So market segmentation is division of market into various segment, into demographic segment, geographic segment, physiographic segment, behavior segment on the basis of their characteristics. Okay. Now STB marketing model, segmentation, targeting and positioning. After dividing the market into these segments, they target or select the most attractive segment to focus your marketing on, and then they position them, determine how to position your product for each target market. Okay, now there is product mix. In product mix, various products are grouped into product lines, and then various products are being sold out. Okay, so the width, length and depth plays a very important role in product mix. Now product life cycle. Product life cycle, when product is introduced at initial stage, the profit or the sale of product is low. When then it reaches to the growth stage, with the time the sale increases and profit also increases. At maturity, the product is at its peak, and when it come to decline, then various strategies are adopted of renovating the product or providing the incentives or like sales promotion techniques are used in decline position. So let us discuss pricing strategies. So price adjustment strategies are segmenting the price, psychological pricing, promotional pricing, geographical pricing, dynamic pricing, international pricing, or discount and allowance pricing. Okay, so we followed different strategy for each type of pricing. Okay, the segmenting pricing. Segmenting pricing is when we divide the price into various segments. Okay, now psychological pricing. What is psychological pricing? The customer has decided psychologically a particular price for a particular product, and he will buy if that product satisfied his psychological price. Okay, so according to this phenomena, or considering this way of customer satisfaction, the pricing is made. Now promotional pricing. Promotion pricing is at the initial stage of the product. They, for promotion purposes, they charge less price. Now geographical prices. Geographical prices are the price of particular product is vary according to geographical area. Now dynamic prices are fluctuating one. They fluctuate. International prices are the prices charged from outside of the country. Discount and allowances are for sales promotion. The discount and allowances pricing are done. Now place and promotion decision. Okay, yeah, now let us discuss what is VMS. VMS is vertical marketing system. Okay, so this system is newly introduced system. Okay, which in which producer, wholesaler and retailer, okay, they have, in vertical marketing system they have producer, wholesaler and retailer. Okay, there are three type of VMS: corporate VMS, contractual VMS or administrative VMS. Okay, so this is all about VMS. Now, yeah, there is a term that is advertising. In advertising, you need to remember the 5M advertising, okay, given by Flip Kotler. So the 5M advertising given by Flip Kotler is mission, money, message, media and measurement. Okay, in marketing, in the book of marketing management 11th edition, he gave 5M advertising. Okay, that is mission, money, message, media and measurement. The question has been asked from this topic in advertisement. Okay, so now what is sales promotion? So sales promotion has been categorized into three categories, that is consumer promotion, trade promotion and business promotion. Okay, so in consumer promotion, they promote their sale by giving some samples, coupons, demonstration, contests, cash refund offer, premium, price of offers, consumer sweepstakes. Okay. In trade promotion, they give cash boons, credit terms, staff incentives, free goods, advertising allowances, display allowances, billback allowances. Or in business promotion, the kinds in which they promote their businesses like exhibition, packaging, character, mercantile, sponsorship, trade show, conventions, and sales force incentives. Okay, so these are the various sales promotion techniques. Okay, so this is all about Unit 6. I hope you have understood each term properly. If you have any doubts, please ask me in comment section. Thank you.